What's going on, folks? Ted from Immersion here, and I have a discussion topic video for you today. It's something that I thought about a lot recently. I've asked a couple DM friends and gotten kind of some mixed signals, so I wanted to ask all of you where you stand on it. And it's the concept of metagaming-ish, I guess, and hit points, right? So we're all playing a game. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. We know our characters have hit points, a numerical value that determines how our characters are. And it's a common tried and true practice. Video games and everything's use this, right? If your hit points are above 0, you're in a good spot. If they're at 0, you're in a bad spot. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the concept of that numerical value of hit points and how you handle it at your table. And I think there's kind of two thought processes here, right? One is how you handle it at your table, and two is how you want to handle it at your table. But before I dive into the specifics of that, I wanted to talk to you about the sponsor for today's video, the Venture Maidens campaign guide over on Kickstarter. So if you saw my recent video, the numbers are ticking up crazily. We've already blown past funding. It's been out for less than an hour. Look at that number just go up while we're sitting here. So if you're familiar with the Venture Maidens, my good friend Celeste Konowich is kind of the head creator of that and wrote this amazing book, this campaign guide for 5th edition. I did a whole interview with her. It's here on the channel, but I'll give you a quick rundown. It is a campaign guide being put together by her and 2C Gaming, as well as a bunch of other folks. You're going to basically get access to this beautiful art book, but not only does it have things about the lore of the world of Venture Maidens, if you'd like to play in that, it also, if we scroll down here, you can also click this to get a promo, free PDF, and review some of the stuff. But you can see here a new subclass for all of the core classes, the new Heroic Destiny system, which is a great way to integrate your players into the world and build bonds and things like that, as well as new magic items, feats, spells, and then again, lore about the Venture Maidens campaign setting. And you can see here there's a variety of different tiers. And hey, for $250, you can get yourself a collector's edition box that gets you not only the cool box itself, the adventure zine that comes with it, but a custom-made enamel pin from one of the Venture Maidens, my good friend Katie, and a custom set of RPG dice that are in this purple specific design. Fun fact, I have a giveaway live right now to win just one of those sets. RPG Dice sent me over a full set of these. I don't have them in hand yet. They're actually in the mail. But to celebrate the launch, they're sponsoring this video, and I'm going to be doing a giveaway. There'll be a link in the description to that, or you can go ahead and enter. It's open, internationally, and it's all that good stuff. It runs till, I think, early May, right before the campaign ends on Kickstarter. And yeah, you can win a set of dice. It's free to enter, and there's a bunch of other options. But back to the topic at hand. Hit points. So I think we've all been there, or we've seen or watched or heard a podcast where someone, the DM, whether they describe it to you viscerally in some great level of roleplay, how you were impacted by the damage you took, or they just say, oh, you take 26 points of damage, you took that damage. You mark it on your character sheet, you use your digital dice, your counter, your D&D Beyond character sheet, whatever you use, you lower your hit points by 26. Now comes the thing, well, what do you do, right? Or what about if you have a healer in the party, you're at a cleric or somebody else who can heal, and they want to know, should they heal you? Now, if you're playing with something like Roll20 or a virtual tabletop where people have tokens with a little health bar above it, they can very clearly see, like, oh, you just went from green to red, you probably need healing. But what about if that's not the case and you're sitting at a table or you're theater of the minding through Zoom, and I tell you you take 26 points of damage and you have 2 hit points left? The cleric wants to know how you're doing. Do you say, well, I've got 2 hit points left? Because I feel like that's a mechanic of the game and people are used to it, but it immediately loses any kind of tension or immersion-based tension in the game by saying, I have 2 hit points. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I should use my spell to heal you because you might die. And then, I only have 1 spell slot left. I should heal you because we need you in the fight. But alternatively, if you tell me you have 20 hit points left, I might be like, you know what? You can go another round. I won't heal you. And how does that do you tell your party members, I'm not looking good, folks? Do you start role play describing it? Oh, my character's heavy breathing and I'm holding the wound on my side and I try to swing and I miss and it's so difficult and I'm really, really reeling from that wound that I just got, hit with. And then is that how you describe it? Or do you be like, yeah, I feel like if I had to put a number on it, I'm about a 2 out of a 28. If I was just going to use a numerical value to describe my current feeling. I don't know. I don't know. There is no right answer. That's, I guess, the thing we'll start with. And I think from a player and DM perspective, it's different. And I want to have it be descriptive, right? I want the players to be discussing it. But I don't want like the numbers game, right? And I would love it for them to be like, yeah, I'm really not looking good. I'm really hurting. They're describing how bad they are. So the cleric's like, well, they sound pretty rough. Or like, I get hit. It's just a glancing blow. I shake it off and I go right back in. Like, all right, they don't need healing, but they're describing it as really bad. I want to go give them what they need. But at the same time, you don't want to be wasting your spell slots or things like that, especially if you don't have a lot. So it's kind of a hard thing, or it's just like, well, I healed them once. Should I heal them again? And then it's like, or you're like, well, no, I'm at full hit points. Well, should I say that? Or should I say something like, no, I'm okay. I feel really good. I feel like I'm ready to handle this situation. I don't know, again, what the answer is, but I really want to have this discussion with all of you. How do you guys treat it at your table? How is it played currently? Do you just talk like, hey, yeah, I took 26 points of damage. I got 15 hit points left. Don't worry about me. I'll heal myself next turn. You worry about it, or whatever the case may be. Or do you do some sort of descriptive thing and that's how it's handled? I guess some of this could be alleviated by somehow having the DM only know the hit points. I know that seems weird, but like it's the same concept I feel like with like DMs rolling the death saving throws behind the screen and you not knowing, because you don't know if you're one death save away from waking up or one death saving throw away from being dead. So I guess that's one way to do it. If the DM tracks the hit points, you tell me your character has 56 hit points, and I keep it behind the counter and like you erase it off your character sheet. I don't know how that would work, but then I would be like, is me describing how bad the enemies look, would me also be describing how bad the party looks? I don't know. Again, maybe there's some great solution out there that you guys have found and some other means of doing this that I don't know. But I don't know. It was just a thought I had. And I've been thinking about a lot of things like this, like ways we deal with things like armor class and how, like, do you hit, do you not hit? And like no numerical values and things like the shield spell, which gives you a flat +5. And like how, like, visually describing things and keeping things immersive, but then also still realizing that it's a game and there are mechanics, right? Like, again, if this was a video game, I'd see on screen what my party's hit points were, so I would know. I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. Again, please let me know in the comments down below how you handle it, and how you want to handle it, because they may not be the same. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to the Adventure Maidens Campaign Guide for sponsoring this video. Links for all of that stuff in the link description down below. And again, be sure to check out the RPG Dice giveaway. I'll see you next time.